Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Okay, so let's talk about injecting insulin. I could go and do this if you want, but I wasn't ready for it. So let's try it again. Current blood sugar is 8.2. I'm starting the downward climb, so that's good. I've had an awful lot of corrections earlier on, and now it started to work and it started to bring me down. So awesome. I had insulin given with dinner, and I had 5.35 units at dinner. So it's all pretty good. 82% time in range. You saw this on the last videos. 8.2 average blood sugars. Awesome. So just so you know, I will be showing you how to do an injection. Just be prepared. We'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Okay, we're going to do an injection. Now, a couple of rules that I may not have mentioned in my little demonstration. 1, wash your hands. Before you start any injection, you want to make sure you wash your hands. And one thing about the last medical condition or scare we had is wash your hands to the song of Happy Birthday. Get in between your fingers and happy birthday to you, and so on. Make sure you use friction of one hand on the other. Wash up to about approximately there on your wrist. That will make sure you clean off as much bacteria on your hands as possible. You don't want a site infection. Second of all, just so the type of wipe, so that's not it, I use is called, I broke the seal, it's only on one side, is red alcohol wipes, and they were available on Amazon. I don't know if they're still available on Amazon because it's been a while. I came like 1,000 of them, so I don't use them daily. I should really, but I usually, for finger pokes, I just usually wash my hands. The problem with alcohol is it can dry your skin. Just being upfront and honest. You want to ensure where you're doing it is clean and dry. It was just a fresh blanket on my abdomen that I did prepare the shot. Make sure you aspirate after injection to check blood. It's usually not. I don't even know if they tell you to aspirate anymore. But when I went through and was given shots, I put it in and I aspirated. we don't fill up a whole syringe full of insulin and inject that and say, well, there, I've done my one shot for the whole day. Trust me, I've had people in diabetic classes who have done that, and they sort of come back and say, I don't know why I went low, but I went low. Just inject the prescribed amount. Now, something I really didn't show that great was the bottle of insulin. You need to roll, and this is how you roll it. Don't shake the bottle. That will just cause air, and you'll have bubbles that you could actually introduce air into your syringe. You don't want it. Now, I use Humalog. That's the type of insulin that's prescribed to me. I only use short-acting type of insulin. Because I'm on the pump and it's giving me short bursts of insulin on an ongoing basis, I don't need a long-acting. That's why we didn't mix both, because I only use the one. Alcohol, one more thing about alcohol. It should be used on your bottles of insulin, on your skin if you're injecting. I don't use it for my fingertips because it dries it out, but I do wash beforehand. I've had good luck with my finger. I've had one problem, and that was this finger, and I got too close to the nail, and something got in there, and it started to get sore and red, and I had to have it drained, let's put it that way. Not a great thing. So, your pump, anytime you change your pump, anything that you're connecting with another device needs to be sanitized. When you get equipment, it comes prepackaged, and I will still sanitize the ends. I've also been taught that when you clean your insulin bottles, I would lay the pad over the site so nothing can contaminate it. The insulin swab or the alcohol swab you use, just place it on top. That way, nothing else could get in. Use a separate alcohol pad. God, I can't speak tonight. To clean your stomach area. This will ensure that you're not contaminating anything that was on the bottle onto your skin. The chances are very unlikely, but we want to make sure it's zero. You don't want anything injected into your body. Once you do the injection, if you have the safety lock on your insulin syringe, like I showed you at the end of this video, cap it and put it in your Sharps container. Now, your Sharps container, here in British Columbia, we have a system where if you go to the pharmacy that you deal with and you ask for a Sharps container, they will give you one that you can put all your Sharps into, return it to them, get a new one, and they will take care of destroying your Sharps. There's a line at the top of those sharps containers. Don't fill past that line. They ask you not to, so just don't. You can also make your own. Now, something I would do is I would take an old laundry soap container with the lid. I would write sharps on the side. I would use it till it was full. Then I would a diluted bleach mixture and add it in and put the lid on and shake it so that if anyone got a hold of it, hopefully if they got stabbed, they'd be safe. You just have to think about everyone else as well as yourself. Okay, so I've replaced the cap. Some people just say putting it down a little raised so it doesn't touch your table. I've always just replaced the cap. It works for me. If you've been taught some other way, continue with that routine. Okay. So we're going to try to do this so you can see. I have my injection site. Now, in this needle is air right now. I'm not giving a shot, but I'll just clean my area. Giving it a moment to dry. Pulling my cap off. Aspirating the skin a bit. Inject, putting it in. Now, I was always taught before you pulled out a little bit to make sure that there's no blood. Then you inject your insulin. Didn't really take much, did it? You wait a couple of seconds, especially if you're using a pen, and then you raise it up. Now, here I have a safeguard, which I just click up. If you have this kind of needle, great. Otherwise, you take your cap and you replace it and you put it into the sharps container. Pretty easy to do. Okay, now we're going to do our insulin injection. And I'm going to do an insulin injection, but I'm not going to do an insulin injection. Funny. I'm not going to be injecting insulin. I still have my pump on, and my pump is delivering the insulin. But this is just sort of to show you the steps one should take. First of all, you need an alcohol swipe, and that's what you do with it. You need an alcohol pouch. This one is from Amazon, and I bought like 1,000 of them, so pretty well can have them for a while. Next, you need the insulin that you're prescribed. This one here, Humalog for myself, would be the insulin I would be given. Last is a BP Safety Glide insulin syringe. Now, the first thing we have to do is we have to open our insulin syringe. I usually keep it in until we're ready to go. Next, we have our insulin and we have our alcohol wipe. I'm going to open the on one end, pull out the alcohol wipe. Okay. Now this is a trick I learned. A lot of times I see people do this. Yes, I've wiped it, but that's not going to do it. You're going to need to get down there, get some of the force to make sure everything is up there. Give it a good clean. Now, if you're using a new bottle, you will have a cap on it. You need to remove the cap. Now, something I did before I even started this was I washed my hands. Okay, so our next thing here is to take the syringe. There's our needle. You're going to, I make sure it's right back. I don't know why I do that. I just do, okay? So then I pull back how much insulin is prescribed from the doctor. We'll just say it's 15 units. I make sure the plunger part is down on the 15. I inject the 15 units of air into the syringe. I don't do a whole chamber and type it in, because what will end up happening is this will be harder to pull out and you'll have to draw off air until things equal out. So just pull back the amount that is needed. I'll then flip it over, and because this is a clear insulin, you don't have to worry about mixing. If you did have to mix, I would roll it in my hands like this, back and forth, to make sure things are mixed up. I pull back to 15 units. I was always taught before to pull out more than is needed and then to come back. It's easier when you're getting that tight. You pull it out. I have my cap in a nice secure spot. I flip it on top until I'm ready to go. So that's how easy it is. We'll be right back for the injection. So there, we've talked about things about injecting insulin. I showed you a video on how I prepare a shot. Again, I have to point out, do what your doctor has prescribed. Don't go out and, oh yeah, I saw this super hack where you don't have to use alcohol, blah. That's how bad control starts to happen, when you start to relax the rules. Most of the rules are there for your protection. Yeah, they're a pain. Why do I always have to wash my hands? Why do I always have to use alcohol? Because they want the chain of infection cut. And with that, I hope you had a great day. I hope this was helpful. I didn't know how I was going to do it, and I hope you got some information out of this. Remember to follow the rules set by your doctor. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.